Hey, it is good to see you, and thanks for being here with me for this special program. We're, really working on having so many programs that are developed for our agents to continue to grow themselves, not only on the marketing side, but also on the personal side, business strategies, and of course, personal development, which is at the top of the funnel, as they say, when it comes to, what are you developing in the world? Well, you're not going to develop it in the world unless you develop it inside. So today we're talking about thinking big and living big. And of course, as you can see, it's about building an undefeatable mindset. And that really is the subject today, because the reality is that, it's so much how we think that dictates how big we live. And of course, we set our sights for big, but big compared to what? Big compared to our experience of the world. And if we've got a limited experience of the world, if you've got a limited view of ourselves, a limited view of how big our business can be, a limited view of what would be stressing me out and straining me, then all of that's going to keep you confined. And so today we want to talk about this whole idea of building this undefeatable mindset where you're really in charge of everything that you're doing because there's no limits. You've just got this vision of I can do it. I know how. And if I don't know how, I know how to find out. And so there's this constant, I got this. And that's what you really want to have, is that undefeatable mindset. So, let's talk about real estate because, I've said for many, many years, real estate is a seven-digit income stream. It's a seven-figure income. And, the legitimate part of that is that, at one time when I was saying that, I knew many who had done it. Now there's thousands of people who make seven figures a year in the real estate space, probably tens of thousands, but for sure thousands. And it's no longer a mystery. Like, I wonder if anybody can do that. It's happening in small towns and big towns and around the world. So it's not like it's not possible. It's certainly possible. So it's a seven-figure a year business, minus the mistakes you make and the things that you don't do. And most importantly, the mindset that's holding you back. So when I think about, we hold an open house and, what's our expectations? When people come in, do I put myself out there? Do I kind of hold myself back? Do I wait for them to come to me? Am I a big energy? Am I a small energy? Do I detract? Literally, are we all in and making things happen? Because listen, the market is shifting right now. And are we giving into that? Are we saying, well, I'm going to be, a part of the future? I'm absolutely here to stay. Or are you thinking, oh my gosh, how do I survive this? What do I do now? And, we've come off the best years of real estate history. And there are those who are afraid right now. And I can understand why, especially if their successes were minimal or if their successes were maybe out of their control, meaning it was the market, not their efforts. And sometimes we don't see that when we're in it. We're feeling pretty invincible, but then we realize, shoot, I really don't know what I was doing and I don't know how to do it again in a market that's changing. So when I think about this, we talk about you're supposed to call your sphere, you're supposed to call your friends, you're supposed to call your database, but do you? And you might even have the scripts, but still, do you? And why don't you put yourself out? And why do you play small? And why aren't you achieving the same results or bigger than other people around you? How come other people have bigger results, even though you've got strong desire? So that's what we're going to investigate here. That's what this program is really all about, how we think big and live big, and of course, create that undefeatable mindset. And, we know we're supposed to be doing more social. We've got a gateway program. And in the gateway program, we talk all about the various forms of methodology for getting yourself moved out. But will we show up in video? Will we let ourselves be seen? Or are we sitting back going, why do people even care? Why do they want to see my stuff or hear from me? Or why do they want to, that's in here. That's in here. That's not in reality. because the people that are showing up in a big way are creating big businesses, and even amplified today more than it was, let's say, in the early 2000s, when social media didn't exist, when video didn't exist, when, well, I mean, it existed, but not in this way. It was very expensive to do things then, and now we flip on a camera and away we go. We've got, a Facebook Live or an Instagram Reel or, a TikTok or whatever it is. So, we really want to look at, how are you seeing you? How are you seeing the business? How are you seeing the possibilities? What are you doing moving yourself into the future? And of course, the one thing I have said, laughingly, I mean, it's kind of a fun phrase, but, timid salespeople, timid business owners have skinny kids. And the reality is, unless we show up in a big way, unless we come out, have this coming out party where we get seen and known. And I remember, when I started my ad agency, in the 80s and 90s, we were getting very large. My business partner and I used to have people that would say, well, I wouldn't want to work that hard. See those success stories. I wouldn't want to work like them. And what you realize is that the people that were really succeeding at the highest levels didn't work harder. They had a better strategy. They had better ideas. They had better execution. And they were willing to put themselves out in the world, into the world, and we're willing to be seen. We're willing to get, counted. We're willing to play and play big. And so I've often said there's three kinds of people: those who make things happen. Absolutely. Those who watch things happen. Well, it's, observational is not bad. But the third one, of course, the train wreck, and that is those who are wondering what happened. And right now I'm concerned because many agents, I think, are going to be in that latter category, saying, what happened? I was on top of the world. I felt invincible. I was creating lots of business. Things were going great. And then what happened? It just went away. So we want to make sure that you're a part of the future of real estate, that you're really doing what you can do and creating the results you want. And to do that, we're going to break it all down. This is going to be probably the longest session that we have in our mini courses. And it's because it's the top of the funnel. It's about who you are, who you're being, and how you're thinking, and how your heart is leading you. It's all about that. So we're going to take some time to break it down, because this is where people fall short. It's not because they don't want to do the actions. It's because they're afraid to put themselves out, or there's something inside that stops them, that holds them back from creating the results they want. So I'm going to take you through a few things here. Hopefully you can see my screen. I think we've got it. No, we haven't shared it yet. Let me get over here and share it. Voila. In theory, you should be seeing that. And let's see if we can. Yeah, so it's all about thinking big. And of course, as we were talking about some of the programs we offer, and this idea of thinking big came to me some time ago, and building this course was really important to me. I'll tell you more about my background, but certainly this was not an accident, and this is not something that I've just stumbled upon. This is like, philosophically, where my life has been. But this is what I wanted to get to real quickly, and that's why I wanted to share the screen. Is the purpose of business is to fund your perfect life. And so in essence, it's about, how do you create a business that creates what you want, what you see, what you envision for your life. We're going to talk about the envisionment process. We're going to talk about allowing, in other words, allowing that to happen, not blocking it, stopping it. Those are all energies that I see people do all the time. Self-sabotage. It's pretty scary stuff. And it's always about how we feel about ourselves, how we see ourselves, the things we've bought into, the stories that we've been telling. Anyway, we'll get into it in a deeper way, but I want to really help you, get to that place where we're opening up to your possibilities. And that is what this is really going to all be about.